Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an important update. Today, we're talking about the major drone attacks launched by Ukraine deep into Russian territory on May 23, 2025. This is one of the biggest drone operations Ukraine has carried out during the war, and it targeted several important places in Russia. Let's break down what happened, where it happened, what it means, and what both sides are saying. What happened? On May 23rd, Ukraine launched over 100 drones aimed at military and infrastructure targets in western and central Russia. These drones were used to hit fuel facilities, power stations, and factories that support Russia's war efforts. Russia said it shot down many of the drones, but several still hit their targets, causing fires, damage, and even injuries. Ukrainian officials have not claimed official responsibility for each attack, but the pattern matches previous strikes from Ukraine. This kind of long-range drone warfare has become common in the conflict. Ukraine uses these drones to strike back at Russia, especially when it doesn't have the air power to match Russian forces. Places hit in Russia. Let's go through the main regions that were hit during this massive drone strike. In Moscow region, dozens of drones flew toward the capital city. Russia's defense ministry claimed they intercepted 69 drones aimed at Moscow. In some places like Ramenskoye and Domodedovo, falling debris caused fires and damage to buildings. Rail services were affected and people had to be evacuated from parts of the city. Even though the drones didn't land in central Moscow, the fact that they came so close has shaken many Russians and forced airports to temporarily shut down. In Lipetsk Oblast, in the city of Yelets, a drone hit a factory called Energia. This factory is known to make parts for military equipment, including rocket systems. A large fire broke out and 8 people were injured. Emergency teams were sent in, and it took hours to put out the flames. In Ryazan region, another drone strike caused a huge fire near an oil refinery. Smoke could be seen from several kilometers away. This fire disrupted fuel supplies and raised safety concerns for the local population. In Kursk region, in the city of Rilsk, a power substation was hit by a drone. This attack cut off electricity in the area and injured 2 teenagers. The city was left without power for several hours, affecting hospitals, schools, and businesses. In Oryol Oblast, Ukraine's drones also reached Oryol, where a military electronics plant was hit. This plant reportedly makes devices used in tanks and other military vehicles. The damage was not made public, but Russian officials admitted the plant had to stop production. Airport closures. As a result of the drone attacks, airports in Moscow, Volgograd, and Nizhny Novgorod were closed for several hours. Flights were delayed or cancelled, and many passengers were stranded. In Oryol Oblast, Ukraine's drones also reached Oryol, where a military electronics plant was hit. This plant reportedly makes devices used in tanks and other military vehicles. The damage was not made public, but Russian officials admitted the plant had to stop production. Airport closures. As a result of the drone attacks, airports in Moscow, Volgograd, and Nizhny Novgorod were closed for several hours. Flights were delayed or cancelled, and many passengers were stranded. This shows how drone strikes are not only hitting military targets, but are also disrupting normal life for Russian citizens. What this means. These drone strikes show that Ukraine has the ability to strike far inside Russia, even though it doesn't have fighter jets or long-range missiles like Russia does. By hitting oil refineries, power plants, and military factories, Ukraine is trying to reduce Russia's ability to fight the war, create fear among Russian citizens, show the world that it is still strong and fighting back. What Russia is saying. Russian officials said they intercepted many of the drones and are calling these attacks terrorist acts. They blame Ukraine for targeting civilians. Although most of the targets were related to the military, Russia also says it will respond strongly to these attacks. possibly with more airstrikes against Ukrainian cities. What Ukraine is saying. Ukrainian officials have not publicly claimed all the drone attacks, but President Volodymyr Zelensky has said Ukraine has the right to defend itself and strike back. He also said that Ukraine will continue to target places that help Russia carry out its invasion. In his latest speech, he asked Western countries to send more weapons and drones so Ukraine can keep defending its people and territory. International reactions. Some world leaders are worried these strikes could escalate the war, but many countries, including the United States and the UK, have said that Ukraine has the right to defend itself. Human rights groups have also reminded both sides to avoid hurting civilians and to follow international law. Why drones matter in this war? Drones are changing the way modern wars are fought. They are cheap, fast, and hard to stop. Even small countries like Ukraine can use them to hit powerful enemies like Russia. Ukraine has even built many of its own drones locally and has been using them to even the playing field. Instead of fighting head-on, they use drones to weaken Russia's power from behind. To Ukraine, this recent wave of drone attacks is a turning point in the war. It shows that Ukraine is using technology to fight back, even when it lacks traditional weapons. We don't know what will happen next, but one thing is clear: this war is far from over. Both sides are continuing to look for ways to gain the upper hand, and drone warfare is becoming a key part of that strategy. Important note: this news report was not generated by artificial intelligence. It was created and written by a real human, based on news from trusted international sources such as Reuters, BBC, CNN, and local updates from Ukraine and Russia. We always work hard to give you factual, clear, and up-to-date information. Please, if you found this report helpful or informative, please like this video, share it with your friends, comment below and tell us what you think. Subscribe for more simple and clear news updates every week. Thank you for watching and stay safe wherever you are. See you in the next video.